Alright, so what we have is the KastKing Speed Demon, 9:3:1 gear ratio, high speed baitcaster reel, and we're going to take it apart, inspect the integrity of the reel. First thing we're going to do is remove the side plate. Here's the side plate. Take the spool out. Alright, next thing we're going to do is remove this screw right here. As with everything, you want to take it off, lay it down in the reverse order that you're taking it apart. So after I take everything out, I'm going to lay it down and right to left, and then when I go to put it back together, I'll put it on left to right. So now we'll take this bracket off, okay, and we have this little brass nut here, and carefully we'll loosen that up. And these are reverse threaded, so instead of going to the left to loosen it, you go to the right. So we'll take that off, put that down, and our cranking handle comes off. And now we'll take this little spacer off, set that down. Now we have our drag, same thing, cross threaded, so to the right you're going to take it off. Alright, set that down. Then you have all your washers and spacers right here, and your click drag you're going to take off carefully. Alright, and we'll look at those. So you can see all those. Put those back in nice and neat. Set those to the side. And then there you have your one bearing, and you can go ahead and oil all these bearings as you're taking them apart. I'm not doing that right now, but feel free to do that. So now we need to get into the internals of the reel. We need to take this screw off. Okay, and then there's 1, 2, 3 more that we need to take off. Down in here, so it's going to be hard to get to. Alright, so there's the last screw. Now here's the important part. When you're taking your reel off, any reel, you want to have the crank handle up on top, so that way when you pull it off, everything stays put where it is. So you can see here the integrity of the Speed Demon is fairly good. There's a little bit of rusting right here, which will be taken care of with some reel oil or other reel appropriate lubricant. Bearing on the inside. You have your washers, which we'll carefully remove. You have your main brass gear here. We're not going to mess with that, but you can see where the carbon fiber drag washer is. So carefully you put all that back on, and this is the point where you would clean everything. So very carefully put everything back on, and like I said, at this point you would go ahead and grease your gears, maybe oil the rest of the bearings that are in here, and grease the other smaller gears. Good integrity after about 6 months of use. So we'll put this back on. Okay, now again in reverse order, you're going to put your screws back on. Make sure everything's tight. Alright. Now we'll go in, like I said, reverse order. Put everything back on. We'll make sure I put our bearing on first. because that fell off. Not a big deal. Put our drag clicker on and our drag washers on. Get all those situated. And we'll put our star drag back on. Again, this is going to be in reverse threaded, so make sure it's on nice and straight. Alright. Now, right here you're going to have to hold the brass until it clicks over, and then you can adjust your drag down, just like that. So then you'll put your spacer on, okay, then you'll put your cranking handle on, the little brass fastener, again, reverse threaded. Get it started with your fingers, and then you can use some plastic pliers, or if you're using metal pliers, just be very careful. You can tighten that down. Alright. Then you get this little piece. You can kind of match it up again. A little bit more. Perfect. Put that retaining screw in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now you're ready to put your spool back in. And your side plate. You're back in business. So, that's the KastKing Speed Demon. High speed gear ratio 9:3 to 1. Takedown, integrity assessment, reassembly.